June 23rd, 2018. 12 boys and their soccer coach walked into a cave in Thailand. They were planning to be inside for 1 hour. They stayed for 18 days, trapped, in complete darkness, 4 kilometers underground, with no food, no light, and rising water that could drown them at any moment. This is how the entire world came together to pull off the most impossible rescue in history, and it almost didn't work. The Wild Boars, that was their team name. 12 boys, ages 11 to 16, from a small town in northern Thailand called Mae Sai. Most of them were stateless, meaning they didn't have passports, couldn't travel, couldn't even leave their province. Soccer was their escape, their dream. After practice on June 23rd, their assistant coach, Ek, 25 years old, suggested an adventure. Let's go explore Tham Luang cave. It's famous in the area. Just a quick trip, an hour max. They parked their bikes at the entrance, left their bags outside, and walked in. The cave is massive, 10 kilometers long, winding deep under a mountain. But there's a warning sign at the entrance. It says, "Do not enter during monsoon season, July to November." It was June 23rd. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. 30 minutes after they entered, the sky opened up. Monsoon rains, weeks early, water rushed into the cave like a tsunami. The boys tried to run back to the entrance, but the path was already flooded. Chest deep, then neck deep. They had two choices: drown trying to escape, or go deeper into the cave and hope the water doesn't follow. They went deeper. For 2 hours, they climbed, higher and higher into the cave, away from the rising water. Finally, they found a small ledge, a muddy slope about the size of a classroom. Dry. For now. They stopped, caught their breath, and realized they were trapped. No food, no water, no light except their phones, which were dying, and nobody knew where they were. By nightfall, the parents realized something was wrong. The boys didn't come home. Their bikes were still at the cave. Police arrived. Then the Thai Navy SEALs, then volunteers, hundreds of them. But here's the problem. The cave was completely flooded. The entrance was underwater. The tunnels were pitch black. The current was so strong it could pin a grown man against the wall. Nobody knew how deep the boys had gone, or if they were even alive. For 9 days, rescue teams searched. They pumped millions of gallons of water out of the cave, barely made a dent. They tried drilling through the mountain from above, couldn't find them. They sent divers in, but the water was so murky you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And every day, more rain. The monsoon was getting worse. Time was running out. On July 2nd, day 9, 2 British cave divers, Rick Stanton and John Volanthen, decided to try one more time. They dove deeper than anyone had gone before. 4 kilometers into the cave, pitch black, zero visibility, feeling their way forward with a guideline, and then they surfaced in a small air pocket and shined their lights up. 13 faces stared back at them. The boys, all of them, alive. "How many of you?" the diver asked. 13, one of the boys answered in English. 13, brilliant. The world erupted. They found them. Against all odds, all 13 were alive. Skinny, weak, but alive. They'd survived by drinking water dripping from the cave walls. They'd meditated to stay calm. Coach Ek taught them Buddhist meditation to manage hunger and fear. But here's the problem. Finding them was the easy part. Getting them out? That was impossible. To escape, each boy would have to dive through 4 kilometers of flooded tunnels, in complete darkness, with zero visibility. Through passages so narrow, you had to take off your air tank and push it in front of you. Some sections were so tight, even experienced divers got stuck. These were kids, ages 11 to 16. Most had never even been in a swimming pool, and they were supposed to scuba dive through an underwater death maze. The Thai Navy SEALs tried first. One of them, Saman Kunan, ran out of oxygen and died during a supply run. A trained Navy SEAL died. How were kids supposed to survive? So the British divers came up with a crazy plan. They would sedate the boys, put them to sleep, unconscious, strap them to a diver's chest like a backpack, and drag them out underwater. If the sedation wore off mid-dive, the kid would panic, rip off his mask, and drown. If they gave too much sedative, the kid would stop breathing and die. If they bumped the kid's head on a rock, and there were thousands of rocks, the kid could get a concussion and die. Everyone thought it was insane, but it was the only option. They had maybe 3 days before the next monsoon wave flooded the cave completely. It was now or never. July 8th, Rescue Day. They decided to take the boys out one at a time, youngest first. 13-year-old Munkol went first. The test case. If he made it, the rest had a chance. If he didn't, nobody wanted to think about that. The divers injected him with ketamine. He fell asleep. They put a full face mask on him, strapped him to a diver's chest, and disappeared underwater. For 20 agonizing minutes, nobody knew if he was alive or dead. Then, breakthrough. Munkol surfaced at the first checkpoint, still unconscious, still breathing. It worked, but he still had 5 more dive sections to go, each one more dangerous than the last. At one point, the sedation started wearing off. He started waking up, underwater, in the dark. The diver had to inject him again, mid-dive, before he panicked. Finally, after 3 hours, Munkol reached the entrance, alive, the first one out. Over 3 days, they did this 12 more times, 1 boy per dive team. Each rescue took 3 to 4 hours. It was the most dangerous, most complex rescue operation ever attempted. And somehow, they all made it. All 12 boys, Coach Ek. 13 people extracted from 4 kilometers underground through flooded tunnels while unconscious in a race against monsoon rains. 0 casualties, everyone out alive. When the last boy surfaced on July 10th, the entire world celebrated. Over 4 billion people had followed the story. In Thailand, people were crying in the streets. The king of Thailand granted citizenship to the 4 boys who were stateless. They finally had passports. They could finally travel. They could finally dream bigger than their province. The boys spent a week in the hospital recovering. They'd lost weight. They were weak, but they were alive. All of them. The divers became international heroes. Rick Stanton and John Volanthen received medals from the Queen of England. The Thai government honored Saman Kunan, the Navy SEAL who died, as a national hero. His wife said he would have been proud to know his sacrifice helped save 13 lives. Over 10,000 people helped with the rescue. Divers from Australia, America, China, Japan, engineers, doctors, volunteers pumping water, local villagers cooking food, a Buddhist monk praying at the cave entrance for 18 days straight. The entire world came together for 13 kids. Today, the wild boars are still together, still playing soccer. Some of them graduated high school. One of them, Abdul, got a full scholarship to study in America and plays college soccer. He reunited with Rick Stanton, his rescuer, at his graduation. They hugged, they cried. Coach Ek became a Buddhist monk for a period of time, a Thai tradition to honor those who helped save your life. The boys visit Saman Kunan's memorial every year. They never forget the man who died trying to save them. The cave is still there, still flooded every monsoon season, but now there's a museum, a memorial, and a plaque that says, "In July 2018, the world showed that when we work together, nothing is impossible." 13 people walked into a cave. For 18 days, the world held its breath. And when they walked out alive, we remembered something important. Humanity is capable of extraordinary things when we choose to care. 12 boys, 1 coach, 4 kilometers underground, 18 days in darkness, and a rescue that proved miracles are real when people refuse to give up. If you like the story, subscribe and like for more. See you in the next video.